we're going to show you something, AI in action. And with this tall order of keeping all of you awake, we have one of our director from NSCS, Parthi Naidu. He was also a senior VP from Cargill in the past for environmental health and safety. So he's going to take us through a skit in terms of how AI is used in action. So over to you, Parthi.
Thank you, everyone. Thank you, Wei Chen, for the introduction. If you notice, I'm not going to do it on the stage for apparent reasons that you can see me on the floor anywhere, right? Okay, so I'm going to do it on the floor, and I'm trying to engage all of you sitting right at the corner, all the way to the other end of this floor. And I'm going to be doing a little bit of walking. So, my name is Parthi Naidu. I used to work with Wei Chen in Cargill. Cargill is a food and agriculture company. They have operations around the world. I was responsible for Asia at that time. Wei Chen and I were colleagues at that time. And do you remember the time 5 years ago when we had COVID? You remember COVID? That is one of the proudest moments for me and Wei Chen when we were in Cargill. Because as the EHS safety team, we worked with operations and the business to save lives. We put in processes. We found hospitals for people who are sick. We educated communities of people who work with us and people in that community around the region in the 14 countries that we operated in Asia. The proudest moment, one of my proudest moments in my life and for Wei Chen, I'm sure. But what was COVID? What was COVID? The term we use to describe COVID and things like that is the term existential threat. It is a threat to humankind, where people lost fathers, mothers, brothers, sisters, nephews, nieces. Just like that, people were falling off the grid. Such a sad state of affair. While I say it is a proud moment, such a threat is coming back again. In today's topic, what is that threat? Digitalization. It is an existential threat for all of us. Whether you're a worker at the shop floor working at the sharp end, or you are a leader or a supervisor or a manager, it is a threat that is coming to all of us. So whenever there's a threat, there's also an opportunity. In COVID, what was the opportunity? When people were getting the sickness, flu, some passing away, some getting sick, what was the opportunity?
The vaccine.
Yes, we found a solution. We found the vaccine, which reduced the number of people getting hurt, right? So like that, in AI, what is the solution? Whether it's digitalization, the threat that is coming towards us, what is the solution? Do we let it come over us, just like what COVID did? Completely unprepared? Or are we going to do something about it? Yes or no? Are we going to take it as it comes and hits us? One day, AI. Oh, what is AI? I'm a safety professional. I only know how to do risk assessment, emergency response, do my inspections and my audits. Is that what we're going to say? No. Get prepared to understand what is AI. Today I have my son and my wife in the midst of our crowd. I wanted them to hear and listen to what I have to say, especially for my son, because AI is on the way, and it is on the way very soon than you think. So today's section I'm going to do is on AI-related virtual reality. Okay? AI-related virtual reality. So I'm going to do a skit because I thought doing a conference, if you listen to people long enough, everybody is going to sort of close off. Right? Everybody talks, walks away. How much are you going to take away? Well, today I'm going to do a skit. Hopefully it's a little bit more engaging. I'm going to use a VR set in my skit. A VR set is a headgear. You see over there in the center? It is a headgear. I'm going to use it, and I'm going to show you how a VR set, which is a digital technology, and I'll tell you where the AI is in it, how can that help you do your work better? Especially in one area, training. I'm going to just touch on training. I'm not saying if you are trainers, yeah, I'm a trainer myself. Some of us do a better job than others. Continue your training, but can VR complement our training? What in VR will complement how we impart our knowledge to our workers and the people that you are training? Okay? So that is the skit. Let me set the context of the skit. I'm going to do one with my good friend from Jurong Digital. I got to know him over the last couple of months because I went to learn what VR is, because I didn't know what VR is. When initially I heard about it, what is VR? Well, I've seen Avatar, the movie. Yeah, maybe that is VR. When I was a small boy, I used to go to the arcade to play the machine. Maybe that was VR, right? But I really don't know. So I engaged Jurong Digital, just like Mr. Ho Seong Hin was telling us this morning. He learned about what he wanted to talk. I did the same on VR. So let me impart what I learned as a skit with my Jurong Digital gentleman. I'm going to do a skit of I am a shipyard facility manager. Okay, I'm going to play the role of a shipyard facility manager. The Jurong Digital gentleman, his name is Mr. Umesh. He will play as a vendor himself. He's Jurong Digital. And in my role, previously working, I've done so many interviews with vendors, right? So I'm going to do something I'm familiar with. I'm going to interview him to understand how is your technology going to help my people in hazard identification. You all familiar hazard identification? Basic training, right? In safety. When you walk into a shipyard, what are the dangerous things I need to know? So if I have a worker coming from India, from China, from Thailand, from Bangladesh, they need to be trained. But when I conduct my training, traditional training, wow, there's a bit of a language issue, yeah. If I want to conduct a training, the boss sometimes will tell me, hey, my worker have to work, cannot come for training, right? There's a time limitation. Where is your training being held? In Jalan Gambas, or too far away from my work site. I don't know whether I can send them there. Well, all those things can be overcome with VR, and we're going to do that skit to show you what it is. Okay, with that, I will invite Mr. Umesh. Give a hand of applause for Mr. Umesh, please.
Thank you, Parthi.
You want to introduce yourself first?
Yeah. So thanks, Parthi. My name is Umesh, and I work for Jurong Digital Solutions. We create virtual reality trainings, and we are going to see one of our trainings being used by a very tough buyer, Mr. Parthi. Yeah. So let's see whether I succeed or not. Thank you.
Can you switch the slide just for a moment? Just show. Okay. So I put a slide together so you get a context of what I'm going to say and do during my skit, so you have an idea of it. So let me start the skit as of now, okay? So Mr. Umesh, welcome to my shipyard. I'm the facility manager, and we had a conversation over the phone. Yeah. I'm very glad that you traveled all the way to my shipyard to see me.
Perfect. My pleasure.
Okay, very good. Please have a seat.
Thank you.
So, Mr. Umesh, when we spoke on the phone, when you called me, I posed a question to you. The question was this. I have a lot of people coming into the shipyard to work. And these guys are coming from different parts of the world. Some of them are quite knowledgeable, some are not. Many are, in fact, not. So one of the trainings that we conduct is hazard identification. And when we conduct the training, I got good trainers and not so good trainers. But as much as we try to train them, I still have near-miss incidences, minor incidences, nothing major. But I fear something major could happen. So I would like the training to be better than what it is today. And I try to get my trainers to become better trainers. But when I spoke to you, it sounded like there's something that will complement our training. Can you just explain what do you have to offer?
Yeah. So we create trainings in virtual reality. Okay. And like you rightly said, it complements the conventional classroom training that we have been giving. So it doesn't replace at all, it just complements. So that's the first thing I want to emphasize. Okay. The focus on virtual reality training is experiential learning. That means it's a learning, not just teaching, learning using the experiencing the incidents. Okay. And as you would remember, the ancient wisdom that is being told for us from generations to generations. One is, if I tell you something, you might forget. If I show you something, there is a higher chance that you will remember. But if I involve you in that, you are surely going to remember it forever. This is how our brain muscle memory works. If I just tell you something, maybe you will remember or forget. But showing and telling versus making you experience is what the virtual reality training is all about. So first thing that we want to emphasize that experiential learning is the key in making the trainers realize that they will remember it for a longer time.
Okay, so after my guys conduct the training, you can offer this that we can use to complement it even further.
Absolutely.
To have a more experiential. Experiential, I know the word sometimes is challenging. It means your own life experience. Have you felt it? In training, what we do traditionally is after a training, we bring them into the site, correct? We walk them around as a group. But if the site is a risky site, like I come from oil and gas environment, some of the places are very dangerous to walk. Anybody who doesn't understand what it is, I don't dare bring them in, right? So in that kind of situation, I use a VR, a virtual reality where they don't have to go into the site, but they can have the experience of being in the site. That's what it sounds like, right?
Absolutely. And since you are a commercial man, as you sounded initially, the most important part of virtual reality, repetition is practically free. If I take you to a complex or a high risk site, and after I come back and I say I still have I'm not clear, I have to recreate that hazardous scene or that situation again, and that could be expensive. If I'm taking you to offshore or experiencing a fire, extinguishing a fire with a particular fire extinguishers, it can be expensive. In virtual reality, that repetition is free. So this is one of the very big advantage, commercial advantage, which always people look for. What is a commercial advantage? So other than being a commercial experiential learning is an important point, commercially it is actually cheaper than the classroom training if you complement it and use it rightly.
Okay, so the benefit I'm hearing is it is risk-free. I don't have to bring the guy into the site. You can feel it in the virtual itself and experience it. Two, it is not location specific. I don't have to bring anybody for anywhere to train. I can do it in virtual reality in the comfort of an office or a home, even a home. Cost-wise, okay, it's cost-effective, you're saying, but I hold it first. Okay? Let me experience it, then you guys tell me. So the audience, please take note. I will ask you questions or comments from you after this section, so stand by. And I got chocolates for those who are asking questions and commenting, okay? All right. The whole box or one piece? I can't afford. I'm no longer working full time, so I can't. Okay, let me wear the set and then we'll go through it. Just more. Can you see it on the screen?
Is it getting cast?
So, Mr. Umesh, is it looking okay?
Yes, just give us a couple of few more seconds before we are able to cast it. So what we are trying to do is we are seeing on these two screens what Parthi is seeing inside the VR. So this is one of the important feature where the what the trainee is doing, trainer is able to see. Okay. Parthi, our person will just cast it.
Sure.
Yeah. So the idea is that we will cast everything here what he's seeing inside, and this is a typical question when people ask. We don't know what the trainer did inside the virtual reality, but it's this is feature that you will see. Everybody can see in the classroom what the trainer is doing.
So some of the questions you'll be thinking about is the benefits of this and also what limitations. As you watch the screening, tell me what limitations you're looking at. You're all experts, right? So you all should be able to see.
So Oculus has a feature that it has a pass-through. So currently he is able to see you, and that is being cast on the screen. So now soon he is going to enter a virtual world, which is a shipyard scenario, and he's going to be inside it fully immersive. Are you able to see, Parthi? Okay.
Yes,
Okay.
it's a bit high.
Yeah.
Okay.
Okay.
All right. Can you see the screen?
Yes, we are able to.
All right. So this is NSCS General Safety. That is the module. Of course, you got many modules.
Yeah.
I will try to juggle between my mic and the joystick.
This shipyard general environment and safety training offers an immersive experience where the viewer explores the shipyard and the ship's deck. As they navigate, they observe various shipyard operations, identify potential hazards, and recognize unsafe practices, ensuring a comprehensive understanding of safety protocols in this environment. Shipyard visitor must ensure they have the appropriate PPE before entering the shipyard area.
Okay, I'm looking at a guy with a PPE set walking into a shipyard. So I have to check, make sure everything good. Presume everything is good. Okay, check.
Present the gangway G pass to the security guard at the shipyard entry gate. You will find both hazard and non-hazard actions being performed. Identify each action correctly and select the appropriate answer.
Please open the gate to access the area near the ship.
So typically as a facility manager, when I walk into a site, I will stop, observe what is happening inside before I step any further. So that's a typical what a safety person does. So I'm doing that. I'm seeing a shipyard lifting operation going on. That's a vessel. A ship is by the side, docked to the shipyard. And then a forklift operation is also in progress. Okay, let me walk in.
Yeah. Maybe Parthi, you can just turn your head slowly around so the people can see the whole scene. Yeah, great. Great.
I can see the forklift, I can see the lifting operation, and when I turn right, there's a truck here, but then on the other side of the truck is the key crane, and the ship is berthed alongside. So let me walk into the shipyard and see.
Yes.
Okay, I'm in the shipyard, almost close to the lifting that was happening. Oh my God, those two jokers are in the
Head
line
towards
of
the highlighted
fire.
arrow to proceed.
Oh my God, they shouldn't be doing that. Okay. Let me just go to the green spot and see what I see. Okay, so it's a question asked, is this safe? The blasting in open is not. It should be sort of covered up so the blast grid doesn't hit other people. Okay, so I'm going to say hazard. Okay, the jokers are still below the load. Very dangerous. Another pointer for the audience to keep in mind. Oh, the guy is walking without safety harness. There's no proper barrier, so potentially he can slip out,
The
right?
worker
Okay,
is
that's a
working
hazard.
tight on the scaffold without wearing a body harness.
Head towards the highlighted arrow to proceed.
Well, the scaffolds are not locked and they're close to the end of the berth, so the thing can fall
Is
into
it
the
safe
water.
for work to do?
So that is a hazard.
Mobile scaffolding
Oh,
wheels
click
are
hazard.
locked while in use.
Head towards the highlighted arrow to proceed.
Okay, just before I go up that platform, what I'm realizing is it's asking me to identify hazards and non-hazards. So if I had gone through hazard identification training in the classroom, instead of going to the shipyard, which this is good. If I go to the shipyard, then I will expose my people to the risk. Here, I'm doing it virtually and getting a sense of it. Okay.
Exactly.
All
That was the point which I was trying to sell you.
Okay, let me still continue.
Yeah, please.
I presume I've gone up the. Okay, I assume I went up the scaffold and I'm on the deck of the ship. Let me look at the deck because it's a new place. I must always observe what is there, right?
Head towards the highlighted arrow to
Okay,
proceed.
this side is clear. That side, some activities are going on. Okay, I'm going to go towards the highlighted area green.
So this is a training mode where the trainers are guided for where they have to look. In the test mode, you are on your own and you have to identify the hazards on your own. So you'll not be guided like
it
in
safe
this
for work to do?
scene. Parthi is being
Gloves are
guided.
not being used by the worker while performing grinding work.
Okay, again, grinding without gloves, hazard. Again, spray painting
the
creates
highlighted
aerosol. Aerosol is flammable with spray painting in the open while there's grinding work going on.
The worker
Oh my
is
God,
performing
very unsafe shipyard.
hot work.
So I'll say hazard. Okay.
Head towards the highlighted arrow to proceed.
Yep, that's a hazard.
Is it safe to work to do? Gas cutting work is being carried out without proper.
Okay, I think this is the last hazard. Let me just see. Too many already, Aumesh. Is this the last one?
Yes.
Head
Oh,
towards the
okay, okay.
highlighted
All
arrow
right,
to
do the
proceed.
last one.
A very hazardous scenario.
Finally, they have a nice confined space with barricades and a ventilation duct.
Confined space
And they got lifting equipment to sling on when you go down the
ventilation duct is
go
installed.
up the go down the hatch. Very good. So this is a non-hazard. Okay. What is this? Umesh, what is this? Suddenly this come out. What is this?
So this is where the analytics which happens inside the virtual reality, and we are able to analyze his question answers and give you a tabulation. Now, apparently, this might look very simple, but as the situations are complex, the answers are not just black and white. We add in the analytics the timing taken by you. Are you wasting too much time in reading the instructions or you are ignoring them? All these analytics can go in. Today, we have kept it very simple for the purpose of this kit. But this analytics is the core part of the training, which is part of any training, right?
Very good, Umesh. So
You've successfully completed the shipyard.
what happened
general
was I went into a virtual reality after my traditional classroom training, instead of going out to site. So now my workers doing this will get a sense of what are the hazards and non-hazards. It's a bit of a test, but at the same time, noticing things. But there's something I noticed there that wasn't indicated as a hazard or non-hazard. Do you remember what I said?
Yeah.
How come that was not captured?
So it is basically for you to capture whether it is hazardous or non-hazardous. We create scenes for you to first realize there is situation. Again, this is where you have to observe. And then once you identify that, we have in this module itself several situations where you have to identify a good practice also. So good practice and the hazards, both you can analyze. And how quickly we analyze without being guided is what the analytics will tell you.
Okay, so I don't know whether a developer missed it or what, right? Maybe he didn't see the lifting load up and down is a hazard that should be checked. Let's say he misses it. So how does AI integrate into this virtual reality so that something like that also gets addressed? How can that be done? Any ideas?
Yeah, correct. So we have developed AI embedded virtual reality trainings, in which the virtual reality training, once it is being done and being completed, there are so many analytics component that are embedded inside. And I'll give you an example. We have one LNG bunkering created with an AI behavior analytics. Now there is a supervisor giving instruction to the trainee that you go to the bunkering site and observe this A, B, C, D, E. Okay. And the trainer goes there in the virtual reality, both these things happening in the virtual reality. The trainer goes to the site and he is doing A, B, C, D, supposed to do A, B, C, D, E. Now there the AI component starts, the analytics part starts. Is trainee listening correctly ABCD, or he is doing something else first? Secondly, how quickly he is going to a particular position of A where he is supposed to find or carry out some work. Now when he's been told to carry out the work A, let us take a simple example that he is asked to check a pressure gauge. Okay. Now how close is he going to the pressure gauge in the virtual reality like he would do in the real world? AI is able to identify that. Is he close by 1 meter where he can see the pressure gauge reading, or he is looking at a distance, yeah, I saw the pressure gauge, and say tick. So that is where the AI comes in. Okay. In the current Oculus and newer versions, I am able to track what you are seeing inside the virtual reality. So I can track literally your eyes. So are you looking here and say, I watched something there, tick something here, like he was doing tick, tick, tick? No, I'm able to track your eye movements inside. Are you looking at the right position? How quickly you're responding? Then there are certain things, like in this case, it wasn't there. In virtual reality, there are certain surprise elements what we can add. Like he is doing certain tasks and the fire alarm goes on. How would you react? So AI tracks your behavior on known parameters and surprise elements as well, equally.
Okay, very good. So from what you say, if I put my thinking hat on, trying to learn AI, the way the two jokers are standing and the load is going up and down, even though it doesn't identify as a hazard, if a person using this has his eyes focused on it and based on the eye movement, AI can detect, is this person recognizing something there?
Correct.
You can do that. So
Correct.
That is the AI incorporation that you try to bring into VR sets. One more, and this I'll give you for free. I know it's a demo set for you, but I'll give you free consulting on this. When the check was done of the PPE, you notice the guys who are wearing safety harness, safety helmet, goggles, safety shoes. Not everybody have to wear a safety harness, right? For example, the signaler and the lifting supervisor, they don't have to wear this thing. So what we can do is we can inbuild into the system such that what role are you going to play when you get into this AI set? And based on the role, it can determine what PPE is appropriate. Intelligence. AI can provide that intelligence into VR so that in the very first place, they are in the right PPE and it's more specific and appropriate to the training. Okay?
Yes, perfect. That's good. Very good input.
Okay. Do you have anything last to say before I summarize and then I want to do something else?
Oh, okay. So the AI component is really heart of the virtual reality training, because this is the most of the customers ask us when we say that virtual reality training is like very inexpensive or repetition is free. But the core question that coming back, I don't know what he did inside. I just saw him doing this. No, we can track the behavior of a person. We can identify the weakness that he is not listening to the English accent, particularly. He is uncomfortable with that accent. Okay. With the AI component, you can track the person's progress over a period of time. That in Jan, he did this training and he did it after 6 months. Has he improved? Has he improved on his timing in listening to the instructions? So these few things matter a lot when you're tracking person's progress and embedded with the experiential learning. So I think that is definitely a good input. I would like to close.
Very good. So I'll summarize what I'm hearing before we can finish this. So first, there's a cost benefit because after your initial traditional training, you send them through this VR set. You can do it once, you can do it twice, you can do it 3 times. You can run a campaign in your work site where you can set up a booth and people can play. And you can have a reward system set up so if people get it more right, they get a reward. You can set it up so that people can do it at their own leisure. Cost effective. Don't have to repeat your training. 2, location free. You can do it wherever you want this. Of course, I still believe traditional training is important. But guys, watch out. AI is coming. I don't know what more it has for us. So let's get onto the bandwagon on AI to learn what it is so we can be ahead of the curve. And it is also, what did I put on the screen? No location restriction, cost effective because you don't have to repeat. Language is a big part because this can be speaking in different languages.
Absolutely.
We can use different languages and that will help a lot because now we are trying to translate Bangladeshi. And if you don't have a Bangladeshi guy who's really conversant in hazard identification, what happens? The poor guy nods his head and go into the site and gets himself hurt, right? We want to avoid that with language. So 3 benefits I'm seeing. AI you mentioned, okay, it's in the PPE area. You can do better AI so that it's more specific to the role the person has when they go into the site. And also AI can see eye movements as an example so that the lifting going on down there, if somebody notices and does something, it can detect whether the person is recognizing or not. Again, it could be a higher level ability to see whether the hazard identification training has reached the person. And then there's one term called Metaverse. I'm going to save us some time. And this is what I've learned recently. Metaverse is where not one person like me walks into the site. You can have a whole group of people, different people participating in the same virtual space. More than one person. Think of an application. If I have a pump for repair and I need a specialist repairer coming from UK, I don't have to fly in the UK specialist. I can get into a virtual reality with my local mechanic, and I can get the guy from UK to dial in, get into a metaverse, so he sees the same pump that the local mechanic sees, and they can work on it together. Do you see the cost advantage coming in the future? This is where we are headed. Maybe today we are not there yet. I don't know how much it is, but that is where we are headed. So please remember to get on the bandwagon, right? With that, I will thank Mr. Umesh for joining us. Umesh, thank you very much for joining us.
You are buying this?
Sorry? It's not my decision. I have to ask my boss.
Oh, sure. Thank you.
Okay, all right. Thank you so much. So now is the Q&A time, your time to ask questions or comment on what you have seen. Again, I'm going to be down on the floor. Think for a moment, what questions are coming into your mind? I'm going to invite my son to help me with the chocolates. Come, my son. This is my son, Krishna. Okay? This is my son, Krishna. He's going to help me with the chocolates. Thank you, Krishna. Okay, questions and comments, please. How do you see getting ahead of the bandwagon called artificial intelligence?
Hello, Mr. Parthi. Thank you for the session. It's very inspiring. My name is Palani and I'm from 3M Singapore. I have one question. Before that, I give you some understanding of the current practices. Most of these work-related courses, workplace safety courses, are more on theoretical base, followed by practical session. Theoretical base is very standard. Most of the time we cover in office base. The other one, the practical, is we have to bring to a certain area to conduct. But due to the nature of the workplace, which is more hazardous, sometimes that we will conduct the practical sessions in a conducive environment. Because we are introducing the workplace safety practical in a conducive environment, you will not have the chance to expose to the resulting consequences of being negligent. So people will not be able to experience, so some of them will just buy your story. Some people will think that I don't feel what will be if I neglect it. So now VR is coming in, aside the fact that own time, own target, and I can do it multiple times and whatever it is. This coming in a better place where that I will now have the opportunity to expose to a hazardous environment, a new participant who have no idea where he's going in. Before I certify him competent, how does this VR training benefit with regards to workplace safety? Thank you.
Good question. So he's saying, after our traditional training, we typically as trainers bring people into a site that is a safe site. We don't bring them into a hazard. Like refinery training, when I used to send people, I will not send a novice into a refinery that is not in good shape. I will look for the best refinery available, bring them in, give them good experiences. Remember army days? We used to have what? Positive demonstration. And we used to have negative demonstration, remember? So your positive demonstration is what we are doing today. I don't dare bring in a novice worker into a negative demonstration environment. But with VR, you can do that. That's what the gentleman is saying, right? I can create a negative environment that is very unsafe and bring a worker in there to try to help him or her, learn how to manage a very unsafe place, how to identify hazard. I can go further. If you see this, what are you going to do? Are you going to report? Report to who? How are you going to report? If they don't listen, what are you going to do? Imagine how much I can build into it. And you don't have to do it yourself. Remember what Brad was saying earlier? There's intelligence available in AI that can think for you. If you ask the right questions only, and if you can get the right software, like what Brad has is one of them, the safety-specific AI, you can get better results, and you can build that into the system. So a VR system will not be like this demo set. Quite basic, right? Many of us can see the hazard very easily. You can build something more sophisticated that really helps people learn in different situations. Can be emergency response situation, can be hazard identification, can be risk management. Name it. You can do that. Okay? Next question. Son, give the chocolate to the gentleman who just asked a very good question. He's over there. Sorry, my son needs to understand before he does it. Okay? Please, what other questions do you have?
I'm Go here from Oil and Gas Industry. Just a simple question. Whatever we talk is talk about positive. What's the con of this process? Because when you propose something to your management, there's a pro and con. So if we only have a pro, very difficult to convince our management on the con. So they must balance the cost when you talk about business.
Very good. Thank you. So he's asking what is the con? Of course there's a con. Just not got no time to ask. Otherwise I would have asked the con. But I'll give you my interpretation. I've been practicing this like over the weekend. And what I realize is if I spend more than 10, maybe even 15 minutes, I start getting a bit uncomfortable. Because you are in a virtual reality environment. The headset makes me feel a little bit off. So I think there's a time limitation. You cannot spend too much time. That's one. At this moment, I don't know in future, if I'm more used to it, maybe better. Second, the cost. If I have a more sophisticated AI integrated VR, it's going to cost more versus a basic model like what I just showed you, it costs less. I have a sense of what the cost is, but I cannot divulge it. I work with a lot of SMEs. Okay, since I left my corporate life in Chevron, BP, and Cargill, I now work with SMEs. That's my goal. I want to bring what I learned from major corporations to the local companies. So our workers and our companies benefit from it. So when I do that and I talk to the directors and the management, cost is the biggest issue. Tell me what else. Cost is the biggest issue in today in our SMEs. So how are you going to handle costs? Start something basic. And based on my conversation with Umesh, and it's confidential, you guys can always approach him in the booth and have that conversation with him. It is reasonable to start off a basic model. So give it a shot, try it. And yesterday I was in, some of my colleagues here who are here from the different MNCs. We were in Micron. And I was happy to hear that Micron, the prefab, the fabrication yard, where they do chips, right? They are using VR for their training. So there are companies in Singapore, but that's an MNC. The trick is for us to bring it to the SMEs. And the way cost is going on AI equipment and technology, the cost is coming down all the way. So have that conversation with our vendor, Jurong Digital, and with X Strategy X and others. See, where is the cost? Ask them the real question. Because you can only make this work if the cost is competitive. So that we can avoid the 43 people who last year died on a job. You all know there are 43 people who died on the job last year? Previous year, 30-something. 2022, 40-something. Last year, again, we had 43 people. 43 people die means how many people hurt? 100 over people hurt. 100 over people hurt, take one family. Imagine the suffering they're going through. What you do today, learning this and trying to implement it in your SME or your company or with your workers, if that saves one life, that is worth it. Right? So that is the existential threat, AI, that is coming. I hope you guys are ready to embrace it. Okay? With that, I thank you for your time. Have a great day.